I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting member patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome to you all. Lots of people already. 47 right from the top of the show. That's absolutely brilliant. Welcome to you all. If it's your first time here, an especially big welcome. And I would like to first of all say thank you very much, Judy Bassett, for the super chat before the stream even started. Judy, I really appreciate your massive ongoing support. I really do. Thank you. So I hope everyone's well. Oh, I just see Mr. Now Pinion's arrived. And of course we have our resident flat earther, Mr. Wybenger of Gary. Sir Wybenger of Gary. Good evening, Gary. Yeah, we're still waiting for you to say something sensible, pal. But you're welcome, of course. You know that. You know that. So who have we had? We've had Mr. X. I have put the sound on. I'm doubting myself now. You guys have ruined me. No, I don't think I got it right. I'm going to have to listen to... Yeah, it's working. Good stuff. Mr. X, Mr. Y, Dog Walker, Chris Durham Music Channel. Greetings, you bunch of sensible people. Well, greetings to you too, Mr. Chris Durham. Heat Shield. And Dora and Coo, the newest blue. Well done, Dora. Thank you very much for your ongoing support of the channel. Appreciate it. And, of course, I trust you. And who else we got? Mason Particle. Mason, yeah, I got your tweet. Thank you very much. And I think it was Heat Shield posted a link to your video somewhere in the chat. So if it was before the stream started, it disappeared. So Heat Shield, if you could repost it, then it'll always be in the stream. And you could always come back and pick up that link. So who else do we have? Just Call Me Avi and Turtle Moose. Hello, Turtle. Good evening to you. I'm just scrolling on down, and if I miss anyone, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get everyone, of course. David Oliver, Martin H. Good evening to both of you. Watto UK. And Marcus Dresden with a load of stars says Gary Wybenger rules. Yeah, but what exactly does Gary rule? Who voted for him? I didn't. How'd you get to be a Gary Wybenger then? Matt Powell, unofficial. Hello to you. And Marek Zajak. I've forgotten how to say it now, Marek. I'll just call you Marek. Good evening to you. And Tusk. Oh, Tusk, I have had contact from that other person you mentioned. I briefly responded, but I've not been able to take it any further yet. Andy's Climate Review. Hello, Andy. Andy, I got your message. Not really sure about that for tonight, but you've given me a link, haven't you? We'll see how it goes, but let me post... I will actually... Where is it? I will actually try and post a link. Oh, dear. Can't see it now. Here we go. Andy has just started a new channel. If you remember, Andy was here a while back talking about... what was it, Andy? Her ration challenge. Well, she started a new channel about climate change. So there you go, Andy. There's a link to the channel. So I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So please, people, if you get a few minutes, why not pop over and have a look and see what Andy's up to. It's talking about climate change. What else have you said? Both the positives and negatives of climate change. And any money raised by the channel will go to a climate charity. So... that sounds good. So well done, Andy, and I wish you luck with your new channel. Marcus Dresden, hello to you. Liam Wakefield, Ivan James Hunt, Pearlfish, Wayne. What topics are you talking about tonight? Well, I've got to be honest, Wayne, I've not really got anything planned. I did want to mention a few things about this new video I'm working on, because I'm really pleased with it so far. I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, Andy, it looks like you've got Now Opinions already subbed. There we go. Adrenochrome slurper. How many positives are there? Well, it won't be quite so cold everywhere, will it? But that's about it. I just want to have a check because I think I just missed a super chat. I did from Mr. Nalpinion. Let's expand it. 55 Swedish krona. I can't help myself, says Now. Here's some money just because you got me to spend several hours on the Enigma code. Well, that is topical, isn't it now? And actually, I believe Dora and Koo is having a crack at that. Yeah, let's say something about it. I did release just a little teaser video. I don't normally do that. I've done it once or twice about my new video. I'd said quite a while back that I was intending on going to Bletchley Park and doing a video, and I have visited now. And in fact, not only have I visited, I've ended up with 2 adult season tickets. That's good. Yeah, so I have visited, shot some film there, done some animation stuff, and I've got to have another visit to a different location to be able to complete my video. So the original planned date was, due to my shifts and that, was that the video would have been out on Tuesday 10th August, but it's not going to be now. I would hope it's either going to be Thursday 12th or Friday the 13th. And I'll do it as a live premiere. I haven't done a live premiere for a while. And yeah, I haven't done it for quite a while. And it should be a good one because it will be a longer video. It's not like a little 10-minute thing. It's already about 14 minutes. And I think I've got quite a bit more to put on. So it will be a video that I'm proud of already. And I hope that you guys enjoy it as well. And with a little bit of luck, I have to say this carefully, with a little bit of luck, I think I've got myself some special access. I've made myself a friend. I might be able to get access to stuff and knowledge that many people won't. So it'll be worth a watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Sorry, I did miss something else. Yeah, so the title of the video, actually, let's just, I should be able to just show it, shouldn't I? Just in case you haven't seen it. I don't know if it's going. Oh, it's going to play an advert now. I don't want to play an advert. I'll just get it to the start of the video, and I'll just try and pull it up on screen. Right. Will that capture the window? Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, why isn't it showing it? That's why it's not showing it. Oh, you are silly. Let's make that a bit bigger. Real time mucking around. A surefire way of screwing things up or doxing yourself. Okay. Oh, let's have a crack at this then. I'll keep quiet and let's see how this goes. It's only short. And that is it. That text is Enigma encoded. It's the title of the video, Enigma encoded. Now Dora & Co is having a crack at cracking it, and so that'll be wonderful if you're able to actually crack that code. I'll be very impressed. It will be revealed very near the start of the actual video. So yeah, I've actually found it quite moving. I find the whole subject thoroughly interesting, and everything about Alan Turing. I mean, what an amazing man. I read that he had an IQ of about 182 quite stunning, and a very sad story. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually showing that video. Yeah, so I've done, I suppose you could call it the first half, and in a few days' time, I should be able to have this second visit, shoot the rest, and then edit that comparatively quickly, I hope. So in between, I then hope to do some flat earther videos, because I put that sort of thing on hold because I really wanted to get this done. But the Bletchley Park video has had to go on hold, so there we go. Yeah, so I hope that it's something that you guys will find of interest. I got a feeling it probably will. Let's have a quick look. Andy's client review said it is fascinating. What UK says, I think it says gas go down, go boom boom. And people have had guesses at it, and I suppose someone may be able to actually guess it, but it would be wonderful if someone actually managed to crack it. Very, very difficult. You ask Mr. Alan Turing and the code breakers at Bletchley, and of course it's a fairly short message which would make it harder still, but there we go. That's only 27 points higher than the Flurfers claim their IQ is. Well, that's right, Pillfish. Unfortunately, that's the IQ shared between all the flat earthers, so it doesn't really say much, does it? Now Pinion's guessing at Bletchley Park Museum, but actually I'm glad you just mentioned that now, because I thought of this about 10 minutes before we start the stream. I suggested just a friendly little competition for which there may or may not be some silly little prize, about guessing where I'm planning, not where I'm planning on going on holiday 19th August, but when I am at this location, or this general area, I'm going to visit somewhere where a very, very famous experiment took place. I'm not going to be able, for reasons, I'm not going to be able to get right to the exact location. I don't want to say why. I don't want to give it away. But yeah, it's just for any competition. If anyone wants to have a crack at it, and you think you can guess, it's obviously in the UK, guess where I'm going, where a very famous experiment took place, you can email your suggestion to me. Just title it competition or something. Send it to mr-sensible@hotmail.com, and just the name of the experiment or the location. Okay? And it's for your honour. It's for the honour amongst all the viewers of the Sensible channel. And as I said, if I can think of something, maybe silly, I may just offer a silly little prize for someone. So what else have we got? People saying sorry. Flirfs have negative IQs. Yeah, 10. Well, 10 to the negative 17, but that's not that negative, is it? It's just very, very small. What version was that encoded on? Well, Tim, that's probably a good question, and I'll give you that. That message was encoded on what do you call it? It's a 3-rotor machine. It's the Wehrmacht. What's Wehrmacht? Oh gosh, it's the army. I can't think of what the army / Air Force version, but the 3-rotor Enigma. Okay, which does have a plug board. So if that gets you the answer, good on you. Good on you. So what have people been up to lately? Because flat earthers don't seem to have been up to a lot from what I see. Leading up to the start of the Bletchley thing, I found it very difficult to find anything that any claims, wacky or otherwise, that are worth looking at. I mean, I know that Creaky Blinder has had a couple of pops at the brilliant X-Fat Tappy, whatever his name is. But honestly, that guy is so dumb, you can't even debunk him. It's just stupid. Thank you, Doranku. That is correct. The Wehrmacht Luftwaffe Enigma 3-rotor with plug board. Yeah. Isn't that weird? Do you find that, guys? You've got a word in your head and it just will not come out? James Truth is back. Really now? Oh, man. Oh, wonderful. Life is happy again. we've got some stupid to look at. Yes, expat Taffy is a twonk, brackets allegedly. Hello, I'm new. Jose JG, hello, you're not new, you've been here before, pal. And Blue Marble's been laughing at Quantum Eraser lately. Yeah, Quantum Eraser, he is so boring. His is nothing but cherry-pick quotes. He's not putting anything forward. He just tries to find a bunch of half a dozen quotes that put together would appear to disagree with something you've said. And, of course, the job a good one. Well, let's say, Mr. Quantum Eraser, your half a dozen quotes show that Blue Marble Science or whoever is totally wrong about what they say. Fine. How does that prove a flat Earth? It doesn't. I haven't seen QE put anything forward. And most of what he does say, I can't read because it's in multicoloured children's fonts. Honestly, it looks like someone's gone wild with Word in the 1980s when you can have what you see is what you get. You can make the font blue, you can make it bigger and so on. Because I do remember Microsoft Word early versions where, for instance, if you made something bold or whatever, it would just have a code or it would shade it in grey. It wasn't what you see is what you get. That was actually quite hard if you wanted large fonts and various things. But that's something else. Taffy has a long word. Yes. Also known as stupid. He has a lot of stupid. Era Gwyn, hope I said that right. Only just got here, so I don't know if I missed this. Has there been any response to the £2,500 challenge yet? Thank you. That's a good point. From Level Earth Observer, not a dicky bird, not a peep out of Level Earth Observer, because as we know, it's Yellow Earth Observer, and he can't mention it because as soon as he when he debunked something I've said, he doesn't even say the name of the channel it comes from. He doesn't give his acolytes the slightest hint where it came from, so that they can't go and have a look and perhaps, I say this modestly, get educated, at least to the extent that I can educate them. But there has been a troll posting, I can't think of his name right now, saying that basically I'm a bad person because I'm not giving that money to charity. You pledgees who have kindly pledged an additional £2,500 to my £100, basically you should all just give the money to the charity, and it's us that's stopping the charity from getting the money. He doesn't seem to get. It's like a sponsor. Think of it as a sponsored debate. If you do the debate, you get sponsored, and that money goes to a charity. But there we go. Hello, Judy. I don't know if you disappeared for a while. I did say at the top of the stream, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that, really do. And someone else said, Bedford Levels says Nige H. Well, you've got to be in it to win it. So if you want to have a crack at the competition, you've got to email it to me. It's the only way to be fair. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll take all the hundreds of correct answers and then pick one out of a hat. I have got a hat. Yeah, I've got a hat, so I can pick one out of a hat. Oh yes, here it is, Mr. X, Mr. Y. Didn't I hear that expat Taffy zilched out some time ago? Yes, he disappeared for a while. I believe a little bird told me that they had dropped a hint to him, because I think he's in Thailand, isn't he? It was something that he had posted that the Thai authorities are very, very hot on or against, and they dropped a little message to him that if they find out, he'll be in big trouble. He deleted his channel and removed all the content. He was gone, and he's left it about 6 months, and he's slunk back again. Yeah. What was the question? Says Nimrod. I don't know. What's the answer? You tell me the answer and I'll tell you the question. Oh, right. The question was, I'm going on holiday somewhere in the UK towards the end of August. In that period, I shall be visiting a location because it's somewhere to go, and I may or may not do a video about the experiment that was conducted there. So the competition is, if you wish to enter, it's just to email me, subject competition or something obvious, just either the name of the location or of the experiment. And Jose JG is 32 subs away from 3k subs. Well, I'll tell you what, Jose, I'm going to nip over to your channel and unsubscribe, and you'll be a nice round 33 away from 3k. Sorry, pal, I'm only joshing. If anyone hasn't looked at Jose's daily show, it is worth a look. Have a look. I hope that helps you, Jose, and I'll say in advance, congrats on the 3k, because I'm sure it'll come really soon. Isn't it funny, though, how subs race up and then peter out and then almost stop for a while and then trickle up again and then sudden jump for... It is weird. Oh, if you ever come to Niagara, I would love to see that Cygnus. But then there's loads of places I'd like to see. But that's a very kind offer. I'll tell you what, if I ever am going abroad somewhere, let's say Canada, I think I would announce it and maybe hook up with anyone who's in the area. Jose, you're very welcome, my friend. Riley's Kitchen, the egg experiment. Oh man, I tell you what, you should enter, and you might, even if no one gets it right, you might win just for the cleverest answer. Oh, that question, says Nim. Absolutely, that question. Yes. Oh wow! Look at that, Jose. 9 o'clock is 2,968 subs off of 3k. Wow, it's a race between 9 and Jose. See who gets there first. Oh, that was Crispy Bacon said about Riley's Kitchen Egg. I do like that, Chris. Very good. Very, very good. So what is up with these flat earthers then? Have they run out of arguments? We're running out of flat earthers. I've got a bookmarks folder of debunk stuff. Basically channels who I look at. Right, I'm going to do a video. Bang. Open up all these channels. Have a look. Have they done anything that I might be interested in? I'll go through those first, and then if I don't find anything, I'll look around elsewhere. But now, there's probably now about 8 or 9 channels I go and it just says channel no longer exists or whatever the message is. So they're disappearing. Where are they going? Are they falling off the edge of the flat earth? Who knows? Who knows? So where am I? Where am I? Okay. Yeah, it's a bit sad really in one way and good in another. It's sad that there's not so much stupid to laugh at, but it's good if we're bashing them out of existence. Not to quash an alternative opinion, but to debunk stupid. There's quite a few of us who are doing it, all with different styles, of course. Some excellent channels, most of which I'm sure you all know, from Blue Marble Science, Fight the Flat Earth. A bit different is Creaky Blinder. A bit different now is Team Skeptic. Conspiracy Cats, of course. Simon Dan, and by the way, make sure you pop over to his channel. He does need the subs. He's only a few away from, well, all the subs. It will soon be the case that Simon Dan has all the subs. I have to guard mine, just to make sure he doesn't come and nick them. He's like that. Definitely like that. Now Pinion's been working on a vid for a month about a scammer called Daniel Danzik. There are many more other idiots other than flurfers. That's true. That's true. Yes, Gary. Hey, Gary, what area of the country are you in? This is not to try and dox you. Actually, are you even in the UK? Because Nimrod suggests we meet up and prove what shape the Earth is. I don't know if that's it, if he's saying we should have a debate or a boxing match. But then I don't do a boxing match. I'll beat you with some logic and cheese instead. Pearlfish, I guess they're all playing on the conspiracies that come up with the climate over the past 18 months. Well, I haven't seen that much with regard to those guys about climate. I mean, of course, they started the anti-vax stuff, and very quickly they seem to have stopped that because they were getting strikes and things all over the place. I saw on today's newspaper, on one of today's newspapers, a twin sister, her twin brother refused the vaccine as he didn't really want anything like that in his body. He was 41, 42 years old, apparently very fit and healthy. Just the month before, he'd been climbing various Welsh mountains, but he caught COVID, ended up in hospital. I'm not sure how long he was there, and he told the consultant that he wished he had listened to his sister, who did take the vaccine. Ended up in ICU and unfortunately died, age 42. There are no guarantees. Yeah, you could get it and it could be no more than a sniffle, or it could be the end. And any risks of a vaccine are minuscule compared to the risks of COVID. All right, general world health climate rather than weather climate. I see, Pearl. Leo went after Simon and Dan, so Jesse 10-2. Yeah, I did see Jesse was doing it, but I didn't get a chance to watch it all. But Jesse 10-2 went after him and just did a collab with Mr. 42. And Wally put him back in his place. Oh, by the way, is Mr. 42 in here? Mr. 42. I'm not sure. That's a good point. When I think of it, at the time when I'm away, which is, I think, 19th to... It's about the week starting 19th of August. I have asked 3 debunk channels if they were willing to do a video to cover slots while I'm away, and all 3 have agreed. Hopefully it all works out and they're able to do it. But I have been very picky. I've chosen channels that I particularly enjoy, so that as well as it helping me out by providing content on my channel, hopefully it also helps them out as well. So do watch out for that. So even when I'm away, there'll still be something here. And you're right, Andy, Climate Review, Mr. 42 is cool. I do like Mr. 42. Mr. 42 is a busy boy. He churns out videos like the likes of which even God hasn't seen. Where's that quote from? Mr. 42 is great. Jesse 1022. 1022? I kept calling it Jesse 102 without realising, oh, it's 102. Oh, yeah. Oh, MC Toon, yes. MC Toon, the worst rapper on the internet and probably the nicest guy. Yeah. Tim Ballum has a friend that's waiting kidney transplant now because he got COVID. Didn't even end up in hospital. Well, I wish him well. Yeah, well done, the Madman. June. At least the David Lean version of the film. I'm actually and Beach 8 got as well. I'm actually rereading the Dune books. I've got all of them, the original 6 plus all the extra ones. I'm currently on Paul of June, which is one of the new ones that fits between June and June, Children of June. June and Children of June. That's right. Then it's June Messiah. Yeah. Oh, I think we'll allow that, Gareth Dawson. MC Toon's Flirts quiz last night was as funny as fuck. Wow, good. I missed that one. This is my problem. I don't get enough time. Tusk. Yes, I did see the new trailer for June. I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely watch it because I love all the stuff. I've got the Sci-Fi Channel versions as well. I just love it. I think it's just such an epic story. So difficult to film as well. Oh, he's the second worst rapper, says Dora. Well, you're correct. No, it wasn't Gary. It was Multi Tom Tom. He actually is the universe's, actually the multiverse's worst rapper. He is so bad. And I have to give a shout out for Multi Tom Tom's channel. Do go and have a look at Multi Tom Tom's channel. Have a scroll back through his videos and find one of his rap ones. You're in for a treat. The amazing thing is, well, I've done a couple of videos where I've sung a song. I think I did one, Shame and Scandal in the Family, right at the start of the COVID thing. Just a silly sort of, hey, let's be a bit happy sort of video. I know I can't sing. It's just for a laugh. But Multi Tom Tom, that's special. Worse than Vogon poetry? Oh, yes. And much worse than Nancy Lucy Jennings' poetry as well. Oh, well, 2 of you asked if it's worse than Vogon poetry. Multi's music is so... Well, I don't know where he gets his backing tracks from. It's not the backing tracks. They're all right. I mean, it's not really my thing, but there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that whatever you think of those tracks, he then goes and ruins them by rapping. Actually, it's not so much rapping all over them, it's crapping all over them. It is painful, but worth a look. You can download the old June PC game for DOS. Well, Colin, I've got a game that I loved, Star Wars Dark Forces, but I can't run it anymore on my machine. But I understand there's an emulator called DOSBox. I need to get to grips with that because I love that game. If I can get it working, I might do live stream gameplay from that, because a lot of people won't have seen it. And actually, I think it's really rather good. Although I don't know what happens about sound and copyright with the music. Who knows? But that was a game I always liked. David Oliver, Super Chat, £5. Thank you. 42 is a really good channel. So is Mr. 42. And congratulations, Dora and Co. I'm glad you're blue. You're a poet and you don't know it, Mr. Oliver. Thank you. Watch out, your large intestine may throttle your brain. Yes. What's this? You'll be disappointed for a while, Cygnus. Maybe I'll retain some viewers when I'm done with the first of 4. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Let's play, says Rich901. Rich901, let's play what? Sorry, I don't want to make a mistake. I made a mistake a long time ago. I confused one of you guys with Gary, and I had to apologise, which I was happy to do because I got a guy who wasn't Gary and called him a Gary. Now, Rich, I dealt with another Rich. You're not that Rich, are you? I recognise the name Rich901. I'm just not sure which Rich you are. Perhaps you can make it clear, because the Rich I'm thinking... Oh, Kyle Katarn. Well done, Brainery. You got it. I finished that game. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Oh, and John F2. Yeah, I mean, I thought the graphics were really good. I mean, okay, they're nowhere near the standard of modern video games, but that game was so playable and it had a good story. I loved it. Loved it. But I've also got... the game is on Steam, but again, I think you need to use DOSBox to run it. I've also got Metro Last Light, and I mucked around with that for a while because it wants to run full screen, and then I couldn't screen or couldn't window capture it. But I had to tinker with the settings, a bit of Googling to find out how to make it run in windowed mode. Windowed mode running at full screen, then I could screen capture it, and I pumped it through OBS and recorded it just to see if it would work. It did work. The only problem is when I got the studio lights on, because it's one of those games where you're creeping around in the dark for a lot of it, I couldn't see a blooming thing on the screen in front of me. I had to keep shading myself from the lights just to try and see what was happening. I might have to work on that a bit further. But yes, I might have a crack at the Star Wars Dark Forces. It was a good game. I got the next one after that. I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much. Oh, right. I don't know anything. I know little of the GOG of which you speak, Dora and Koo. Metro game's really good. Well, I've only got Metro Last Light. It was actually a freebie that came with this PC when I got it. It was the very latest. That shows you how old this PC was. But I can run it at massively high level of graphics because it can cope. I've got rather a fancy graphics card, which I probably didn't really need. And when I'm rendering videos, it says you can use your graphics card for extra processing power. So I tick that. I don't think it does it. And in fact, I'm sure it doesn't, because when I was playing Metro Last Light, which I hadn't touched for several years, I was playing it about a week ago, And I suddenly thought, have I got the heating on? It was the heat wafting up from my PC, pumped out from the graphics card. I forgot what it is now. At the time, it was pretty whiz-bang. It wasn't the very, very latest at the time. It was sort of one notch down. I tend to do that by one notch down. It's an awful lot cheaper. Still expensive, but an awful lot cheaper. And yeah, I did adjust the alpha, Adam, but then I couldn't see it. But when I played it back, it wasn't like daylight, but it was so bright there was none of the sneaking around excitement at all, because you're supposed to adjust the alpha so that you can barely see. That's okay, but with the lights on, then I couldn't see at all. It was basically a black screen. So there we go. Funny, really. It's like stars out the windows of the space shuttle or whatever. You couldn't see them for some reason. Last game Cygnus played was Age of Empires on the Commodore 64. Well, my computer pathway was playing on the ZX81. My first machine was a VIC-20. What did I have after that? I don't think I had anything for a while. My first PC was a Pentium, and I paid £100 extra to upgrade from 850 megabyte disk drive to a 1 gig disk drive, and it had 4 meg of memory. 4 megabytes! That was colossal. Now it's embarrassing. My phone's got I don't know, how many gigs of phone likely to have on a little SD card or little card or whatever. 32, 62 gig, whichever. And I paid £100 for an extra 150 megabytes. Excuse me. I also, squeak squeak. I also, what else was it? I also paid for a tape backup. Yeah, a little not DAT tape. It was another one, slightly bigger than a DAT tape. And when I do a backup of the machine, bearing in mind it was only a 1 gig drive, and let's say I had 500, 600 meg on it, it would take about 6 or 7, maybe more hours to back it all up on tape. Yeah, that was fun. Not. I don't know. Time for chocolate, says Effie Peer Review. Well, that's nice. I hope you got enough for all of us. I really do. Amiga for life. Yeah, I think it was an Amiga 500, and I bought the monitor as well, rather than run it through a TV. Yeah, I was well pleased with that. It was quite an impressive machine for the time. It really was. I've just got a super chat. A super chat from Andy's Climate Review. £2. Thank you, Andy. Thanks for mentioning my channel. I appreciate it. Well, it was my pleasure, Andy. TGK2, did I turn the torch on Metro? Well, yeah, you can turn the torch on, but in some places that alerts everyone to where you are, which is not a good idea. Oh, a VIC-20. Oh, you had a VIC-20 as well, Daryl M. Yeah, I did love the keyboard. I love a good clackety keyboard. I just had to replace my Logitech keyboard recently because it finally given up the ghost for another Logitech keyboard. I do like wireless, but the keys, don't really like them. It's not as good as the previous version. I used to have an old IBM keyboard that really was chunk 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 chunk, but you knew you was typing. So does everyone else in the next room because they could hear you. Oh, John F. Super chat £5. Actually, before I read that, John, I'm just going to refresh because obviously I'm reading out some super chats as they appear, and I just want to make sure. Yes, I have. I've missed one, so step back. There was one from Cygnus TSP for $5 US saying, been a little in arrears with super chatting, Mr. S. So here goes. Well, thank you very much, Cygnus. And I was a little in arrears with reading them out. And then back to John F. Thank you, John. £5. I remember my dad buying me 4 megabytes of RAM for Christmas. He wasn't impressed with what he got for his money. No, it doesn't. It's quite amazing now. But you tell the kids of today and they won't believe you. The old Sinclair ZX Spectrum with a 16K wobble RAM pack. Amiga 500 and the Gianna Sisters game. Don't remember the Gianna Sisters game. Oh, right, we got some Dragon 32 fans. TRS 80s. A Perkin-Elmer 6000 series with teletype output. Ooh, get you, Liam. Teletype output, eh? Do you remember the Jupiter Ace? Tiny. It looked a bit like a Spectrum. It was. I think it didn't have a proper keyboard. It had what do they call them? It's not touch sensitive, but it was a smooth surface. You had to press the keys, and you could only program it in. Was it four? I'm not sure it's Fortran or Forth. Not very useful for most people. There we go. Oh, again, I'm going to be very careful because when someone is kind enough to do a super chat, which I really, really appreciate, the last thing I want to do is miss it because they are really appreciated. Right, so that's from Rodent no last name. For $5 US says, GOG, good old games. Great site. They sell old games modded to run on modern PCs, packaged with emulators if needed. Pretty inexpensive too. Do you know, I will let me jot that down. I know Dora was GOG, so it's games. Because that's a game that I absolutely adored. Thank you for that. I will check them out. Like I said, if I live stream the gameplay for that, I think it would be quite interesting, especially to all you youngsters who couldn't dream of the crap we used to enjoy. But the issue becomes in the cutscenes. They got a lot of music when they're telling the sort of story in between different missions or whatever. And being as it's LucasArts, I bet they're quite hot on the copyright. But right, Brian Pop Robson's DM'd images of his Amiga 500 repairs. Thank you for that. Membrane keyboard, says S Thurston for the ZX81. Yeah, and I've got a feeling that I'm sure it was Jupiter Ace. It was rubbish. That was when they first started selling these, home PC. Well, they weren't PCs, home computers, and it was in a Boswell. It was basically like Selfridges, and they had all the latest things. And at the time, it was like a VIC-20, a Jupiter Ace, a Mematech. What was it? Mematech MX. A friend of mine had a Mematech. That had a nice keyboard. I remember that. Anyone remember Full Throttle? Sleepy Dan played Dark Forces at friend's house on 95 machine when I was a kid. Thanks. Oh dear. Nimrod super chatted 20 Swedish krona saying, no need to read this. Damn. Well, you got your money's worth there then, didn't you, Nimrod? Because I did. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Tuss, first real computer I owned was in the military, and it was used to align satellite dishes on a famous hill in England. Everything after that seemed a bit crappy, Mr. Sensible. Well, the first real computer I ever used was an ICL ME29 mainframe. And do you know what I played on there? I played Colossus, the first sort of proper adventure game. I used to love text adventure games, but to actually play it on a mainframe, not so many people nowadays can say that. But yeah, I did like mainframes. BBC B, says Rich901, and then the Amiga 500. Amstrad, a Jupiter Ace, 2,000 US. For 2,000 US, they can keep it. Adam Lord, thank you, Adam. Super chat £5. I could have Googled this, but thought I'd give you money. And as instead, do scientists draw conclusions based on inference? Do scientists draw conclusions based? You infer something from evidence that you've got, don't you? Is it a conclusion, or is it just? Is it a supposition based on what you have inferred? I wouldn't have said it's a conclusion until you've got enough evidence to sort of. Well, I wouldn't use the word prove it, but you know what I mean. The conclusion I would have thought comes at the end. So I've inferred this, and I suppose therefore I conclude. Don't know. That sounds like word games, really, to me, Adam. Not you. Yeah, but it's you're saying about inference. It's like the people I had a friend who used to drive me scatty. He'd say, "Can I lend that off you?" "Oh, you've got your bike. Can I lend it off you?" "No, you can't lend it off me. You can borrow it from me. I could lend it to you. You can't lend it off me." Yeah. Mr. 42 is silently lurking. What was the ZX Spectrum game? Sort of 3D. Had a little character moving crates around a series of rooms. Anyone remember? That was what I sort of remember the game. It was one where you're viewing sort of almost from above at an angle, and isometric view games. They had quite a few of those on the Spectrum, if that's the one you're talking of. I can't remember the name. Pet, yes. Acorn Archimedes. Now, I mean, I know the name, but I didn't have anything to do with it. Mark Wagner says Mark Wagner. It's a trap. What's a trap, Mark? The first step in avoiding a trap is knowing of its existence. Very deep. They've got a page for people like you in the Reader's Digest. Martin H says yes, that one, but I'm so far out I don't know what that one is. But I'm glad I got it right, whatever it was. That's always nice to know. Yes, 42 is lurking. Right. Don't Panic 604 says I'm from the future and I'm willing to having had a Series 4000 Mechanoid from Divadroid. Yes, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Well, I can't remember. What was that news reporter's name? Because I get him, the name muddled up with Max Quadrupleen, but he was the compere at the Big Bang Breakfast Bar and the restaurant at the end of the universe. Someone just asked me about bulletin boards. Sky Wizardless. Mr. S, did you use the old bulletin boards before ISPs started offering internet access? I was actually very early on the internet because of my work. Certainly way before people had computers and thought of doing it at home. So I had that sort of thing at work. I didn't have any kit at home until my Amiga 500, which obviously is not a PC. And internet. Oh gosh, yes. I remember it was. I had 14400 baud telephone access, which was pretty abysmal, really. And of course, used to get interlaced GIFs. So you had a postage stamp size picture, and it wouldn't just go boom, there's your picture. It would draw it display it all blurry, very pixelated, then slightly higher resolution, and then the full resolution. And you could actually see it drawing the image, and that was painful. Keep knocking stuff over. Do you know, when I came here, I actually saw some things that were on top of other things. The shame of it. I might start a society for the prevention of things upon other things. So bulletin boards, no, I didn't use the bulletin boards. But I do, I'm trying to think of the first browser. I used Mosaic was the first browser I used, which I bet a lot of people haven't heard of. Mark Wagner says, Adam's question. I'm still out of step because now I'm not sure what Adam's question was. Mr. X, Mr. Y says 14.4 is dismal. Try 300. Well, that's true. 12k dial-up. Hey, I remember when one place I worked at, they had twin 128k ISDN lines, and so we were allowed to do a bit of browsing, especially you're working late and you've got some program running or whatever. Hey, I'll do a bit of internet browsing. That was brilliant. And so we were working late one Friday, and you're supposed to disconnect the ISDN line, and we left it running all weekend, and they got rather a horrendous bill, and they weren't very happy. Weren't very happy at all. But the thing was with that, when I said they didn't mind us browsing, the only ones of us who could actually browse were those who, the server administrator, I'll let you do it. I know you're right. set some settings so you could do stuff on the internet. Other people couldn't do it. How is the cat? Good question, Nimrod. Let's ask him, because he's here. I forgot. Oh, he's sleepy is what he is. He's hanging onto his cushion. Arnold, there you go. Come say hello to the guys. Hey? He's a sleepy boy. Oh, Netscape Navigator. Web crawler. Yeah, I remember all that. So there's Arnold. You're a good boy. You're a good boy, Arnie. Do you want to get closer to the camera, or you run away? He's good. Such a good boy. There you go, Arn. They said hi, Arnold. He shook his head. He shook his head. He actually went like that. Oh dear. Yeah, Netscape Navigator, web crawler, and Yahoo was massive then. But then you still got those people when internet access became more common, they go to AOL and thought they were on the internet. Well, AOL was a total gateway. You weren't really on the internet. You were logged into AOL, and they let you see some bits of the internet that they were happy to let you see, which rather defeated the purpose of the internet, where you've got access to information, whatever information you want, whatever sort of photography, candid, could be candid. Know what I mean? Say no more, candid. But of course, AOL were basically gatekeepers, so you weren't really anywhere that they didn't allow you to be on. Yes, I mean, seeing all these names, Alta Vista and FreeServe, yeah, it brings it all back. CompuServe. Do you, Yahoo? Well, I did, Mr. Andrat, yeah. And when, I remember when Google sort of started, didn't dream I never had that much money at the time, but if only I'd invested in that, because I'd always been into computers right from when I was about 13 or 14 years old, at school. I used to get told off by my mum for being late home from school, but I wasn't mucking around with the other lads down the park or something. No, I was actually doing stuff on computers, which she thought was just games, but it wasn't. I was learning, and I ended up getting a career out of it. So I really had a belief in computers and the possibilities, but never really thought about investing. I've never been one much for that. Company I worked for, their share price had historically been a couple of pounds, I think, and it slowly went down over quite a while until it got to about 9 pence. 9 pence. And this was around the time I was getting married, and we put some money aside, and I thought, well, there's two ways this is going to go. The share price can't drop much more. If it does, the company's gone. It's toast. Or it's going to go up. So do we chuck the money that we'd saved for when we get married, do we chuck that into a load of shares and take a gamble, or do we play safe? Where I was stupid is I should have just put some money in, but no, I played safe and put no money in at all. So we did have the money that we needed at the time we got married. However, the share price went up and up and up and up, and I watched it and I thought, if I had actually put that money in, I'd take the money out now, and I'd have cleared £70,000, which at that time was more than enough to buy a one-bedroom house. Oh dear. It's sickening, really, isn't it? Ask Jeeves, yes. Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, I've never really been an investor. I got lucky with was it BT? When BT were privatised, I can't remember. I had a phone line and something else with them, so I got two sets of shares, and so I sold them straight away. So it was nice to get a little bit of cash, but of course I should have kept them. Never mind. Well, Doran Koo says marriage ruins a lot of lives. Well, there are 3 rings in marriage, Dora. There's the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffering. Yeah. I'm still in that stage. But I don't mean it really, Mrs. S, if you happen to be watching, of course. Of course. The benefit of hindsight. Well, that's right. And of course, I could have put that money in, and the company tanked, and I lost my job and lost my money as well. But as I said, what I should have done was put in an amount that would be, that I could afford to lose or willing to accept having lost. And I'd have still ended up with a nice little chunk. But there we go. That's the only time I thought, shall I buy shares in this? Because I did believe in the company. I couldn't believe how the shares had gone down. Something tells Cygnus TSP that Mrs. S is awesome. Awesome as in fearful. Yeah, she's awesomely fearful. She's all right. She's all right. We laugh, but not at the same time generally. And I'm usually in trouble. That's not a lie. I am usually in trouble with her, bless her. Yeah. Oh, congrats to 274727. Why? What's 274727 done? Wife renewed you for another season. Well, when you say congrats, is that congrats or commiserations? I don't know. Me and Mrs. S and I, to speak properly, were married in 1992. Seemed to make sense at the time anyway. Never mind. Yeah, it'd be much more of the suffering. Well, what happened to... Oi, watch it, me son. Mrs. S has to put up with Mr. Sensible. Listen, I love you know, I am always sweetness and light. I am a catch. And, look. There you go. With a body like this. Who needs hair? I'm a man built for speed. This is a solar panel for a sex machine. Yeah. Just called me Avi, bought shares in his own company, but he's CEO, CFO and CFF. And ASB, BTS and BLT. Cygnus TSP. My first marriage was in 1992. I should have held on to her. Why did she run away? How old was I in 1992? Well, a little younger than I am now, Meeson. 25. I was 25 when I got married. What do you mean, was that even a year? Pyro bloody cat 6. Was that even a year? Oh dear. A madman. Body of a god. Buddha. Oi, what is this? Insult Mr. S night? I didn't have to come here to be insulted, you know. I could have stayed at home. Yes. All that computing means your brain overheats and burns off the hair. Is my couch comfortable? Actually, it is. It's a twin reclining couch that it's actually quite a few years old now. When I originally had a garage to rebuild my Land Rover in. Once that was rebuilt, I didn't need all the space, so I divided it up and made an office in there. And at the time, I treated myself to a cinema screen and rather a nice projector, which I still have, and butt kickers. Anyone know what butt kickers are? Come on, in first person, tell me what a butt kicker is. I got butt kickers. You guys can't let me down. You know everything. I used to say that to my kids. I used to say, you know, me and Mum know everything. Ask me anything you want. And they'd ask me some difficult question. I'd say, right, that's one Mum knows. Well, no one's come up with what a butt kicker is. Hey, Mitch Goldstein, how are you? Mitch, you know everything, don't you? What's a butt kicker? Matt Powell, unofficial. Got it, a bass speaker in a seat. That's right. It's got its own amp, and it picks up on bass sounds, you know, things like gunshots, explosions, or booms or whatever in a video. And it's a transducer. So it's basically like a speaker without the cone. So it does the vibrating, but it doesn't make any noise. And and it's bolted inside the base of the sofa, which happens to have a metal frame. And you get, I tell you what, the best film for it is World War Z, with a helicopter crashing, because they slow the sound of the rotor, so you get and you get this explosion. And if you have it turned up, literally the whole room will shake with the vibe. It's not that it's louder, but the whole room shakes with the vibration, so you actually can feel it. Brilliant. It was an American company I bought it from. I can't remember who, so I imported it, and it was a reasonable amount of money. But I mean, speakers, which in effect it says, they don't tend to really wear out, and it's just an amp. It's only running when I'm watching stuff on the projector. And bear in mind, I'm still on the first lamp with the projector. I've done rather well. It's had quite a few thousand hours. Yeah, I think it really adds something to a movie with gunshots when you can actually feel the brilliant stuff. A haptic sofa, in effect, Marcus. Yeah, it is. Does Mrs. S like that chair? Dora and Coo. Actually, she doesn't. She said it's a waste of money. It's, with when I'm buying stuff, like say a projector, I'm not someone who thinks I've got to have the very, 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 very best and pay absolute top dollar for everything. No. But likewise, I won't just buy something that's minimum that just about does. You don't really... I don't get many things, but when I do, I like to treat myself to something of quality. Okay? So, for instance, with my sound system, I didn't want a tinny little Alba system. But, on the other hand, I've got a friend who lives a couple of doors away who's a real audiophile. He's got valve amps. He's got some amazing speakers. His speakers, I think, cost him around £10,000. Now, it does sound good. Absolutely, it sounds brilliant. But to me, the extra improvement he gets over what I get with, some reasonable quality. Yes, it's better, but it's not that much better that would make me want to spend, say 15 times the amount. But to him it is. That's the bag he's into, not me. So with things like projector, I've got a good quality projector, with a good resolution. It's a nice Epson projector, and so on. I didn't have one of those pull down screens. I've got a wall mounted screen. And the same with the sound system and so on. Now the butt kicker was the one thing I didn't actually need, and so it really was no more than do you know what, I'm actually going to spoil myself and get something like that, and it's absolutely brilliant. At the time, and that's going back a few years, it was about 500 quid, so it wasn't cheap, but it really does make a big difference, because most people, who would set up a system, perhaps wouldn't think of doing that, and it just adds so much to the experience. It really does. And another good clip of film of it is the first, the first Star Wars film with the pod racing. That sounds fantastic, and the sound of the engines as they go past. Well, obviously you got the surround sound anyway, but you get the throbbing of the engine. Steady on, Dora. The throbbing of the engine as they whiz past. You can actually feel it, just like you can if a race car went past you. You screaming past you, you'd feel the vibration in your chest. Mitch Goldstein just super chatted $5 US. We love you, Mr. Sensible. Love you too, Mitch, and Julie. Say hi to Julie, and I hope you're getting some nice food for tonight. You usually do. Tripath amps are amazing. Well, Pyro, I'd have to say, when you use language like that, I don't know what you're speaking about. I don't know enough about it. I know enough to do some good research to make sure that I don't buy stuff that I think, actually, that's rubbish. Why did I bother? Jerry Farmer finally made it to a live stream. Well, greetings to you, Mr. Jerry Farmer. Welcome to you. Do I use Bluetooth? For what, David? If that's for the sound system, no. It's all cabled up. It's all cabled up. So what I've actually got is my PC is my movie centre, if you like. So it's either DVDs or downloaded films. So the output from there goes to my audio video receiver, which is several metres away, which will either switch to these screens, in which case it feeds back here, or to the projector up there. So I actually had fun and games not fun and games. That sounds as though it's trouble. Not fun and games. I had fun finding out about how it all fits together, because prior to setting it up, I'd never put something like that together before, and it's brilliant. I don't regret it at all. Really, really pleased. So overall, it was fairly expensive, but I'm still on the original PC, the original screen, which isn't going to wear out, the original audio video receiver and sound system and projector, and even original lamp bulb. So I've got my money's worth, because we do get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And I'll tell you what, on occasion, because I've got wireless mouse and keyboard, I've done computer stuff on a 120-inch screen. That's nice. Playing games is good on that. The only thing is, it's a bit awkward because I haven't really got a desk that I can use there. I can rig something up, but that is fun. That is fun indeed. Second best Bob, hello there. Second best Bob's bed moves because he's on the river. All right, Gary Wybenga. Hello, Gary. You've come back. Your pearl of wisdom says south is always opposite of north. Well, I'm glad you're here to tell us these things, Gary. Peter Affinas says, stop feeding the Gary troll. Well, Gary did say earlier on that he speaks nothing but sense. Aha, the Orcs beating the chess at the Battle of Helm's Deep. I'll tell you what, watching Lord of the Rings on a screen, a big screen, is fantastic. Yeah, I really did do the whole thing properly. When I set up in the garage, I had a certain width, the length of the room. So I thought, well, if I've got the projector there, what size screen do I need? And I looked up there's sort of Dolby settings for the proper viewing distance for a screen. It's actually quite surprising. If you see people get big screen TVs, the distance you sit from the distance you should be sitting from a screen is actually quite a bit less than you might think. And I can't remember the distance as it was, but let's say it was 15 feet. Well, sitting that distance away, you needed a 120-inch screen. Okay, and then the projector would be that right distance. So when I had this garden office, because it's a long story, my in-laws moved into what was my garage. I converted it into a bedroom, bathroom and living room. So I lost my office and cinema, and as they'd sold a house to move in here, they paid for this as a replacement. So the room had to be sized around the screen and that. The screen was certainly fit in, so I had to have the sofa the correct distance for the viewing distance, projector behind it, but I initially mounted it on the wall behind me. It was too far, because the projectors obviously have an adjustment to how big an image they'll do. It was out of the range, so I had to move the projector forward. I built a little tower thing that I'm using as shelving and that as well. And why am I telling you these things? I don't know. I've got distracted. Yeah, never mind. Gary Wybinger, and then you lost the funny by your crazy thought. Jerry says this is like the end of Romper Room, where Miss Julie looks through the magic mirror and calls out the names of all the kids who wrote in. Jerry, I know little of these things, of Romper Rooms of which you speak. Blaupunkt PA2150 T-Amp powered by TriPath. Yeah, specs. I do get hung up reading specs. That's the difficulty, especially if you've not got that much knowledge of something. So if you're comparing, I don't know, sound systems, and then you read how many amps or how many watts it is, how much this it is, how much that it is, and you end up comparing. Yeah, out on a tangent, Tim, definitely, and you're doing it to me again. You're comparing all these figures, and you think, well, that one's a bigger number than that one, so that must be better, and so on. And yeah, I do go in for reviews and things. I find it very hard just to think, oh, I want a keyboard, for instance. I'll just buy a keyboard. No, I start looking into it and comparing specs and then reading reviews and so on. But on the other hand, I get a lot of enjoyment, and I end up getting stuff that does the job. Is this the Mr. Sensible's AV Pornhub channel? No, Rodent. No, Rodent. I don't even know how we got talking about this sort of stuff. I really don't know at all. Detail. Yes, detail, Pyro. Yeah. But I was going to say something. We were talking about. Oh yes, I remember. Going back to computers and with respect to specs, when I said in this sort of ordinary shop like Selfridges, they had department store, they had about a dozen different types of computer, and actually asked this guy, because there was these two things that looked like PCs pretty much, that looked very, very much the same, and I asked, but they're quite a difference in price, and so I said to the guy, why is this one so much more than that one? And the salesman actually said, well, that one, you see, that's got 8-bit chips, and that one has got 16-bit chips in it. Well, can't I just buy another 8 bits? I did laugh. I did. Well, which reviews? Yeah, Liam, me too. I do look at them, but of course, usually you have to pay. I don't like paying. I don't like paying for them. But, chasing squirrels. Never heard it called that. I mean, you have to draw a line, don't you? You could go on forever. And, I mean, if you're just chasing the numbers, then Matey Boy's sound system, however much... it's quite a few years ago he told me it was about £10,000 with his valve amps and goodness knows what. You'd end up there or better. Yeah, and you could pay a lot more and get something it's a law of diminishing returns, isn't it? It's harder and harder to get that little bit smaller and smaller improvement. Now, to him, the level of a kit he's bought is worth it to him. But then perhaps he's not interested in computers, or he's not interested in something else, and he's happy with a bog standard, whatever it is, computer from PC World. Whereas I wouldn't be. Every computer I've got has been custom made, where you get a base model and you pick and choose different bits. I know lots of people build their own, but I don't really want to get into that. I got £100 once when a building society turned into a bank. Me too, second best Bob. I've forgotten which building society was it. It's a shame. I like building societies. But I did exactly the same. Got some money. Right, I want to have a double check to make sure I haven't missed anything, because we don't like that now, does we, my love? I have. Oh no, I haven't. No, it was Adam Lord's Google message, and Nimrod. He'd sent a message earlier on that says no need to read this, and now I've read it twice. that Nim, that might mean you owe me some money. Only kidding. Oh man. Listen, I tell you what, seeing Mitch's message when he said, we love you, Mr. Sensible, I really, really do enjoy these live streams. I do in Bradford and Bingley, that's the 1-9, thank you. I really do enjoy these live streams. I like it when I've done streams on a topic, whatever that is, like, for instance, after the Oakley debacle, and I like the debate ones. I like the sort of after streams for things like Mage, but I do like these let's just see where it goes streams. It's fun. Starship Booster 4 is being lifted onto the pad. Is that the one that got delayed, Rich? There was one got delayed, wasn't it? Was it Starship? Yes, it was Starship, wasn't it? It got delayed a couple of days ago. It was the pod racing when Mr. S lost his hair. David, I've been thinking you can actually go off of people. It is possible, with a bit of effort. I'm just going to scroll back again, see if I've missed anything that might be topicable. Kids shows from the 60s and the noughts. What was a kids show? What kids show? Can't see anything else about kids shows. Going back and see the stuff about sofas. Oh, and heat shield. I bought 2 10-inch Orions inside the house from my buddy's car. 1200 watt Rockford F amp on 10 gauge. Okay. Actually, one thing that Matey Boy did say is that where you've got the pairs of wire for speaker, you should twist them because it improves the sound. There you go. I don't know. Again, I know little of such things. I just bought a decent quality cable. Not some super duper whiz bang one at sort of £25 a metre, but reasonable cable, not the thin hair like little cables you normally get with the stock stuff you get with speakers. But all this stuff I know very little of. I've got to say. Rich 91 says that's a Starliner test flight. I think you're right, wasn't it? Because that was on top of was it? It wasn't an Ariane, was it? Starliner's going to be on top of Ariane, something like that. Effie peer reviews off to bed. Thanks for listening. Well, you're very welcome, Effie. I didn't actually notice the chocolate. Everybody was waiting for it. TriPath converts digital to analog. Okay, well, I've learnt something new tonight. And Tim Ballon's running HP Xeon workstation with a decent GPU. Is Mage 3 coming, says Second Best Bob. Not right now. Because I keep humming and hawing. I've got to be honest, one of the things that's holding me back is when I processed all the Mage video, and I forget, one video file was, I think it was a total of about 100 gig of video, because you had 3 cameras, and processing it and doing the overlays and whatever, it literally took a week of processing with the software and the PC crashing from not being able to cope. And my idea for Mage 3 would actually entail rather a lot more, as in an awful lot more processing power. And I genuinely do not believe that this machine could do it. And I think if I did this Mage 3 in this way, I'd end up with the footage and then end up with no way to render it and apply any overlays. And that would be a bit of a problem, really. So right now it's sort of on hold again. Just in case I could think of anything else. Either a different way of dealing with that or a different project. And meanwhile, my current project is the Bletchley Park one, which, as I said, my working dates for that being released is either Thursday 12th or Friday 13th. And I think very possibly, actually it makes no difference because I'm working at 7 o'clock the next morning, whichever one of those days. So maybe I'll go on Friday the 13th. What do you reckon? Is it a Thursday night or a Friday night would be better? Perhaps I should ask you people. You fine people. Magic Productions just got here. What did I miss? Well, Gary Wybenga dispatched a pearl of wisdom, and nothing else. Didn't see anything. Didn't miss anything else really. Apart from all the stuff we talked about, of course, many things were mentioned. Many interesting things that will entail a total rewatch of the stream. Definitely. 100 people all over the planet just yawned at the same time as Mr. S. Oh man, that was real. Very real. It was not CGI, it was a real yawn. Sorry guys. Friday night says a madman. Friday says magic. Yeah, Friday feels better than a Tuesday. Normally my best night for launching a video out of all nights is a Tuesday. Some nights can be comparatively disappointing. You put the same sort of video out on a Tuesday, massively different. I don't know why. Oh, I've had a super chat from Mr. Second Best Bob towards Mage 3 or Catnip. Arnold voted Catnip. Do you know what? That's something I haven't tried him on for a long time. I think it could be worth getting some, couldn't it? And drug the cat with catnip and do a short video maybe. Oh, we saw a couple of creators, I'm not sure who, I think one was Creaky, experimenting with shorts. I've done a couple of shorts videos for particular things rather than a deliberate targeting of the idea of doing shorts. And I don't really see the point. On my phone when I see shorts, if I end up looking at loads, keep swiping through. So much of them is utter crap, utter set-up stuff that really isn't funny and is obviously fake, and then one or two really interesting things, like say a ship launching or something like that, whatever it is, or someone doing something amazing with with a pomegranate. You think, how the hell did whatever? But the funny thing is, you can't advertise. You just have to hope people look at that and then decide to go and look at your channel. I know they can get an awful lot of views, but it's the TikTok brigade. In fact, and most of those shorts seem to be just pure downloads of things that were on TikTok. I don't TikTok. Stephen Cook, I'll be good doing more animations. Hope to get some good stuff for you and others. Entertainment for the masses. I do like animations. I my graphical skills are somewhat lacking. I have a good eye for when things look right, just like I've got a good ear, for music. Unfortunately, just as I can't sing or play, I also can't draw. Yeah. Nobody wants to see Creaky's experiment with shorts. Gross, hairy, tattooed legs. Oh, yeah, but do you know what it says on his legs? It says other way up. Flatsoid. Yeah, what's Flatsoid done? Thank you, just called me Avi. Will we see more biospheres, small worlds? For those who don't know, I've got a secondary channel called God of Small Worlds. There's currently 2 biospheres on there. I have actually created the third, Avi. I'll let you into a secret. It's a saltwater biosphere. But what I wanted to do is, from my local aquarium shop, is get some live food. Things like, well, it depends what they've got, but things like brine shrimp and some other things to pop in to start off the world in addition to whatever may be there. I seeded this world from the sump of my marine aquarium. So it's got various sorts of marine weed or algae in it. And there was some critters in it, not a lot. So I wanted to seed it with some critters. So it's half filmed. But hopefully on my next set of rest days I can get some of these critters and put them in the jar, finish off the filming, and then we'll have SeaWorld on the channel as well. And then I need to look at doing updates to the first one, the Pond World. I actually tried to have a film of it, but the algae, the plants are grown so thick at the top that shining the light down, it's not really getting through to below. So I'm having a problem working out how I can light it to film it. Yeah, and I did get a USB sort of microscope camera, but the issue I have with that is my phone, the connector, the USB, whatever it is in the bottom of my phone, is bust. There's such tiny fiddly things. It's bust so bad that I can't even connect to a charger or download anything from it. So I have to use a wireless charger, and anything I want to get off my phone I have to email to myself. So this USB microscope won't it'll plug in, but it won't connect to that. I have a real cheapo laptop. It's about the only time I bought something without reading the spec. It was purely used for my fish tank to connect up to the fish tank's computer, so I could carry out settings and upgrade the software and whatnot. And it's an appalling flipping. It's not a Chromebook, but it's that sort of netbook type thing. Utter junk. And you try and do anything on it, and it's as slow as anything. Anyway, I thought, well, surely it's got to be able to run a camera. And I downloaded the software, plug it in, and it just doesn't recognise a camera. It just doesn't do anything. The only other way is Mrs. S's phone. That you plug in, it's another Android phone. It works a treat. But transferring the stuff to me, it has been a pain. I have to use WeTransfer or something, but there we go. A catnip-inspired song. Did I forget to take... not me. Thank you. Martin H. just asked, did you forget to take your meds again today, Marcus Dresden? I thought that was aimed at me. Yes. Syncing is a nice way to sync thing is a nice way to sync stuff on a phone. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just read another comment. Yeah, I mean, I can do it, but it's just a bit of a shame, really, because this little... It's only a sort of £30 USB microscope thing, but it's quite amazing what you can see. it's harder when you're filming through the glass of a jar at things that are moving, and of course there's a curve to the jar, so if you move you change all the focus and whatnot. But yeah, if you put it on something steady, we've got these little coffee mats and they've got stitching around the edge, and you put it on the stitching and it looks like thick rope. Absolutely astonishing the detail these things can see for just, as I said, 25, 30 pounds, whatever it was. So I've got to do more work on that. Mini Miss Sensible is the one who's at uni doing film and filmography and stuff. She's got a good camera. She did let me have a crack at it. Unfortunately, using the built-in screen and setting a focus and that, I did a shot of my fish tank as an intro, and then when I loaded it, I got it transferred to my PC. It was out of focus. I just couldn't see the focus on her screen. So for me, it's no good. Gary is awesome. Hey, Gary, you got a fan. What's Gary said, Marcus, that makes him awesome? I must have missed that one. What? Marcus Dresden goes off the rail. Gary is cool. Okay, he's flat-hearted, but he's still a great guy. Oh, I've got no problems with Gary. Me and Gary got an understanding. He doesn't do his copy pasta, cut and paste stuff, and he's welcome on his channel. And actually, I've got to say, I've had no issues at all tonight. I've not noticed anyone sort of timing him out or deleting any messages, which is good news. He's not been around so much tonight, have you, Gary, if you are still here? But we do have this slight issue with Gary, though, in that he believes utter crap. Aside from that, he's a top guy. I like you, Gary. There's certainly worse. There's worse out there than you, definitely. Hello, Global Mom. I did just see Global Mom, didn't I? I saw someone saying hello to Global Mom. She is here. Yes, there you are. Hello, everyone. Hello, Global Mom. Have I watched Foo the Flowerhorn and his fish tanks? No, I haven't, Tim. No. There's a guy in the States who I watched a lot of. I'm trying to... certainly when I was setting up my tank, and I can't think of his name right now. I can picture him. I've got his face in mind. Got a brilliant channel with a massive marine tank. Yeah, I can't remember his name. So going back to that biosphere, yeah, so I've got Biosphere 3, which is salt water. So if you come up with any ideas of other biospheres you might want to see, please let me know. And if you haven't checked out the channel, let me just grab a link, because do you know what? I'm going to shill myself out. Let me just get the channel. It's never going to be a channel where I'm putting out videos. Videos every couple of days or anything. It's definitely going to be a channel that's sort of a bit more laid back. I haven't been speaking in any of the videos so far. Here we go. God of Small Worlds channel, just there. Oh, actually, I'll try it again because I think I pressed another key. Yeah, God of Small Worlds. Yeah, I haven't been speaking in those, but I probably will be in the marine one. An intention had been with the creation. Each of the videos each world will have its own series of videos. Starts off with a creation video in which I was not planning to talk. You just see it created with some interesting, hopefully, music in the background. But then with updates, I'll talk about what's happening in those worlds. But the marine one, I was thinking I probably will, because there's a bit more to explain about where I'm getting this from, what the refugium for my tank is. Because, obviously, most people, if they're not into marine aquariums, aren't really going to know what a refugium is. David Oliver just super chatted £5. I made steak, onions, mushrooms and chips last night. It was beautiful, just like you. Thanks, David. Actually, I appreciate the comment. That's very kind of you. You couldn't make steak, onions, mushrooms and chips for all of us now, could you? Anyone else want that? Hands up. Yeah, it's quite a few. Quite a few, David. You're going to be busy. An ant farm. What's that, a formicarium? Is that the word, a formicarium? That's testing me. Oh, thank you, Tim Ballon, for subbing to that. I appreciate that. Yeah, ant farm. I've got a feeling it's a formicarium. I had a go at making one when I was a kid. I found that sort of thing fascinating. I actually had a very small plastic aquarium, and I put a load of dirt in, and I put a load of dirt in, and I wanted to really control this world. So I mixed up a bunch of plaster. So I made a layer to coat the surface and just left a couple holes so that the ants would use those holes. It wasn't very successful. I had put a queen in. But yeah, things like that. When I was a kid, I could have watched that sort of stuff for hours. Mr. S has layers. Onions have layers. I have layers. Do you get it? Hand up. Yeah, so Madman's definitely for the steak and everything. Quite right. I do like a nice steak. I'd be a vegetarian as long as vegetarians are still allowed to eat steaks and sort of meat stuff. Hey, I did share with you all a long time ago my cunning plan for a business opportunity. You know how all these fake meats are so very expensive and especially so good? You know, they look like meat. They have the texture of meat. They taste like meat. So I had this cunning plan of actually making vegetarian fake meat out of meat, because it's obviously a cheaper ingredient. And hey, they wouldn't be able to tell because it looks like meat, it tastes like meat. Isn't that brilliant? Fake meat are us. Something like that. I don't know. Would you invest in this? I wouldn't, but sounds interesting. Yeah, we had a sandwich lady at a place I worked, and we were talking to her. She's a lovely lady. What was it? Yeah, rather a nice lady. And his sandwich van would come up, and it said on the side, Miss Nibbles. You can imagine what she was called. But anyway, we were talking to her, and she said, "Oh, I'm starting some new flavours of sandwiches. I'm going to do this, going to do that. I'm going to do vegetarian bacon, lettuce, and tomato." I thought, what the hell? This was in the late 80s. What the hell? How can you have vegetarian bacon? And it was some vegetarian artificial bacon. I did try it, and it was literally like cardboard. I don't know why anyone would have bothered. Doran Koo loves vegetarians so much that she doesn't eat their food. Actually, I'm a vegetarian once removed. I only eat animals that only eat vegetables. I'm not going any further than that. Fish tasting meat. I'd have some happy vegetarians. Well, Steve, this is true. I'd have some happy vegetarians until they read the ingredients list. Yeah, Mr. Sensible's artificial meat ingredients. Meat. Yeah, I don't think it'd go down too well, and I think the vegans might be up in arms. I have absolutely nothing against vegetarians or vegans. I have no problem at all. That some of those corn products, the chicken pieces, quite like. Some of the other stuff I don't think so good. At work, that someone had some leaving do, and there was all sorts of nibbles and bags of crisps and stuff like that. And they had some vegetarian pasties. I thought, okay, I'll try one. Only mini pasties. And I took a bite. What the hell is this? It was mushroom based, which is cool. But it didn't taste of mushroom. It just tasted of nothing. And I had to just chuck the rest away. I literally couldn't eat it. Well, Buddy asked if I would invest in his beer processing facility. He meant his liver. Yeah. Peanuts contains nuts. Yeah, definitely. Where do they get that from? It's like McDonald's hot apple pie. Caution, maybe hot. Well, I bloody hope it does, or I want my money back. A madman only eats animals that don't eat him first. Not all us vegetarians actually miss the taste of meat. No, I'm sure, Liam. I'm sure not. My mini Miss Sensible, she's vegetarian. Although she actually did go to a fast food place and ordered some vegetarian burger, took a bite, and it was chicken. She nearly threw up, bless her. She was rather upset. Not surprising. Yeah, I have zero problem with people being vegetarians. As long as those vegetarians don't have a problem with me not being a vegetarian. Not being a vegetarian. Yeah, meat. I do like meat. A good steak. Yeah. I can cook a nice steak, actually. I do quite well with that. There we go. Mrs. S would actually congratulate me on the quality of my steaks. Probably not the and my curries. I'm not bad at a sort of chuck it in curry. I never go to a recipe. What we got? Okay, we got some chicken, and then I'm just adding spices and tomatoes and onions and whatever. Yeah. How are you? Colon, you're right. C. Just been chilling out. Yeah, it's been a long week. And what day is it? Wednesday. Yeah, it feels like a long week. And yeah, it's just been chilling out tonight. Darwin says, well, canines are a good idea. Yeah, we do have those teeth for a reason. You bought some hot cross buns. They weren't hot. Okay, but were they cross? Like, Willy Wonka and his square sweets that look round. But they don't look round. Yeah, they look round. If you've never read Charlie and Chocolate Factory, you should. Even the plant screen. What are you talking about, Pyro Kitty Cat? Kitty Cat. Pyro Kitty Cat, sorry. Oh, what are you called, Pyro Kitty? There is someone called Pyro Kitty Cat. Is that you? You changed your name? Mison saying you had a guy at work, such an intense peanut allergy, wouldn't even let people use a keyboard in case oil's got on a keyboard. Mrs. S has peanut allergy. Didn't used to. She loved peanuts. But now, if she goes to the pub, if someone opens a packet of peanuts somewhere across the pub, she starts getting tingling on her lips and starts to feel unwell. When we were down in Cornwall a couple of months back, we were just in some shop and we just decided to go for a cup of coffee. And we sat there, and I had a bit of cake as well, very nice cake, eating it away, and she suddenly, my mouth feels funny, and the throat started closing because someone had something with peanuts in. It's not that she'd touched peanuts or whatever. So yeah, I can certainly understand that about the peanut allergy. She's also got those stabby EpiPens in case she gets a bee sting as well, because she's anaphylactic. And she used to work at school, and it was a fair distance away, and quite a few people from our local town used to go to this school. So several parents teamed up, bought a bus and whatever, and she did a lot of the driving because she was working there. And anyway, driving there, my middle daughter went there, and she was on the bus, and a wasp got in the bus, and my middle daughter started panicking. Oh my god, there's a wasp in the bus. Mum, there's a wasp in the bus. She said, that's all right, just get my EpiPens. So she got the EpiPen out, saw the wasp, and started hitting it with the EpiPen until she... I don't think that's quite how you're supposed to use them, but it did solve the problem. Yeah. Isn't it weird how you can develop it? Yeah. You'd think it would just be genetic. It is odd. And I would certainly hope that I don't eat... Do you think it's because over the years you have too much peanuts, or perhaps you don't have enough? So you have enough to kick off the allergy, but not enough to beat it. And now she's at a state that she certainly couldn't eat peanuts. And, she wouldn't be in the same room as someone eating the peanuts. And we are actually at that stage, because it all seems ridiculous when you hear of flights saying, no peanuts, no, you can't have a bag of peanuts or whatever on this flight because someone's got a nut allergy. And I've seen people say, well, tough, it's their problem. But actually, now... I fully understand and sympathise because, she, if we were on a flight, she can't get out. She can't, under a window. If you're stuck on a flight for several hours and partway through the flight, someone opens peanuts, and of course you've got all the air circulating around, her lips will tingle, her throat will start to close up, she'll then have trouble breathing, and it really could kill her. So when we go on a flight, we're going to have to alert the the airline beforehand, and probably upset a load of people. Stephen Cook, I'm not aware of any. I'm certainly not deleting any messages because I'm not doing modding. Mods do modding. Right. Oh, Stephen, I see. It says message deleted by the Google moderator team. I wonder if I can see what the message says. No, I can't see what it says. It's hidden even from me. Usually, if hold on, I've managed to retract one of my messages. What's up with that? I meant to unpin my message at the top, and I've actually retracted it. So it's a pinned, retracted message. Never mind. I don't know what that is, Google moderator team. Maybe you used a word that it thinks is rude. I mean, there's a famous town in the UK, and it just happens to have a certain 4-letter word somewhere in the middle of the one-word name, and that's always getting censored at places. So sad for the people who live there. There you go. But anyway, just going back to that, Stephen. Yeah, it's nothing I've done, and it's nothing any of the mods have done. By the looks like Google have decided. What did you say? What did you say? He didn't say anything bad. Well, how do you know Second Best Bob if it's disappeared, or was it there for a second before it disappeared? Don't know. That's not something I've seen before. Then there have been changes. I think Creaky Blinder had a thing. He'd switched on some Streamlabs automated modding. I had that, I think, the first time I did a stream, and it was deleting stuff left, right and centre. But I was so confused the first time I did a live stream, I didn't dare tinker with it. I just had to apologise and fix it afterwards. Colon says the second reason you shouldn't have peanuts on a plane: oils from the nuts react badly with the metals they use and can escalate the corrosion. Wow. Aircraft brought down by peanuts. Yes, Second Best Bob, you got it. Scunthorpe, it's a lovely place. Yeah, that's the exact place I was thinking of. And those poor people get their town's name censored in various places. Ridiculous. A town in Austria that had a rude name. There was. That's the one where people keep going and steal the sign, wasn't it? Oh, Second Best Bob saw your message. I wonder what he said. I didn't see. Martin H. happened to you as well after you typed something completely knockish. Was that just tonight, Martin? Or some other occasion? I wonder if Google, YouTube have changed things. I mean, I think there is a standard list of naughty words that they'll block. Jerry Farmer blocked from Facebook group for using the word niggardly. Ages ago. Oh, right. Okay, said Martin. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Madman says, example of modern medicine over evolution. We used to lose 20% to smallpox. Now we survive peanut allergies. Science for the win. Yeah, Mrs. S was told she could, what's the word? Be acclimated to get rid of some of her allergies. Each time they put a microscopically larger amount of whatever it is on her, but it would take weeks and weeks and weeks, or maybe even months, and there's no guarantees. It just wasn't worth it. So peanuts is the thing. So when she annoys me, I get a bag of Planter's Finest, and I threaten to throw them at her. And that way I win every argument. Actually, one thing I do say is we're sat in a car, and perhaps she starts saying, "Oh, you're silly about this, whatever," or I've upset her in some way, and I just say, "Look, I think we should just put you in charge. We should get rid of Mr. Johnson and make you Prime Minister. You know best." Actually, I do have a top technique for dealing with Mrs. S. Where when I'm in trouble and she's decided that she's got a cob on and she's perhaps not talking to me or whatever, I'll deliberately walk in the room and talk about something totally different. "Did you see Fred down the road? What he just did?" "No." She said, "What's that then?" "Well, he did." And I've changed the subject, and she's forgotten that she wasn't talking to me. Yeah, it works every time. And she even knows I do it. She realises afterwards, and I laugh about it, and then I'm in trouble again. But that's half the fun, isn't it? See if you can make it through the day. Nathan Thompson almost killed your cousin trying to acclimate him to his nut allergy. Wow. Is this part of his brain training or whatever? I tell you, I am pleased that someone said that, what's his name? JM Truth is back. I'm surprised. I thought he'd finally be gone for good. I've got to have a look. Has he got anything? JM Truth. Oh, JM Truth. Oh, no, hold on. JM Truth Productions is there. Oh, wow. A video two weeks ago. Wow. I think I'll have to have a look at that. Let's... I want to bookmark it. Where's my bookmarks gone? Bookmark it. Yeah. Yeah. I have to have a look at that. Oh, Jay and Truth. He's a rather a special treat, isn't he? Something like that. He's a special something. Yes, Liam Wakefield, Jay and Truth Science 101. He did his sciencey things once before, didn't he? His course is 101. It's not much of a course when the first episode is 101, and that's also the last episode. That's it. Group yawn. What time is it with everyone? It's 11:15 here, so I'll probably wind up very shortly. I tell you what, guys, I'm so sorry. I've got a couple of people in the live waiting room. I'm going to bring them in because I'm not going to be. Thanks, Colin. I appreciate that comment about JM. I've got Captain Welsh in Nimrod, so let's bring them in because I'm not going to be here for too long. But I've got Welsh in Nimrod. Hi guys, how are you? I'm just switching on your audio, so say hello again.
Hello, Mr. Sensible.
Hi. I was checking the levels to make sure it wasn't too high or too low, and I thought 0. That's probably too low, isn't it? How are you guys? All right?
Yeah, we're all right. I've been out all day. I just popped in the Discord about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry guys. I wasn't keeping an eye on it at all.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's no worries, Mr. Sensible. I've been talking the ear off Captain Welshie like a good Irishman should do.
To be sure.
I'm a fellow Celt, and we just talk and talk anyway.
Oh, there's a name. What's the name of the place? There's an Irish town. I'm trying to think what it is, and there's an Irish guy an Irish guy at work, and I love some of the Irish accents. Obviously, there's various accents, isn't there, from various parts, but some are absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to think of the name of the place. Sorry,
is it Cork?
No, it's. I'll think of it in a minute, and it's just such a beautiful sound, and it's got a very Irish sound to it, and I can't think for the life of me what it was. I'll stop thinking about it and it'll pop up in my mind, I'm sure. And
the same thing as the Welsh accent. It's like we think Welsh is just all one dialect, but it's not. You've got like different parts.
Yes.
Wales. So.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then you got people like me who is from one of the largest towns in Ireland, and I say I don't have an accent like.
Oh my God! It's creaky too.
but
I haven't got an accent, to be sure.
I don't have an accent at all. Now what are you talking about?
Oh man.
But I know I do have a bit of a north sider accent. A dub, you know what I mean? Like, what's the story, bud?
And you know, I nearly thought of the name of that place. It's driving me crazy now. I shall have to have a look at a map of Ireland and see if I can remember. Because it's now become a greeting. Because it's not that I'm making fun of him, because I'm really not. I genuinely think it sounds nice. But, I don't say hi. I don't say, you're all right, Fred, or whatever his name is. I just say the name of this place, and he says it back again. What was that game? You know that game show with, I've forgotten the guy's name, Dusty Bin. Do you remember that?
Dusty Bin. I remember the character, but I don't remember the name of the show.
It's catchphrase, isn't it? It was the host. His accent, I think, was really nice.
Terry Wogan?
No, not Terry Wogan.
An Irish guy.
He is an Irish guy, yeah. And Google.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember where he's from.
No.
Because there was...
Rob Walker?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Walker.
Yeah.
Where was he from? No, I can't remember where he was from.
I'm thinking he's from Northern Ireland, I think.
Well, the Northern Irish accent has some of the counties up in the north have quite a really nice singing kind of accent to them.
Yes.
As long as it's not the Ian Paisley. No, 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 no.
Oh no, boy, don't worry about
And of course, I'm the only one here who hasn't got an accent because I speak the Queen's English as she is spoke.
that. Yeah, the West Country style.
Well,
I'm not West Country. I have been
no,
accused of that before, though.
well, now they do say that the Irish speak the best English in the world.
It is nice, but I love some of the Scottish accents as well. I think there's nice accents from all over the country, you know, and there's also some which sound or can sound quite harsh, or like a strong Glaswegian accent,
Yeah,
even if they're
I
being
had a
nice and
Glaswegian
friendly,
teacher
polite,
once.
sounds so threatening.
But
Yeah,
I mean, you could even say that about some of the the Belfast accent has kind of that sort of feeling to it sometimes.
Go on then, give us a
Depending on
Belfast accent then.
well, you're talking. Oh Christ, what's his name from Sinn Féin there now? What's his
Jerry
face?
Adams?
Yeah, he's a Belfast boy.
Okay, but I mean,
Can't really do that accent that well.
yeah,
now,
but
to be perfectly
I don't
honest.
think that sounds. I mean, perhaps it's just my ear. You know, I hear Irish. You know, whereas you can hear areas of Ireland more so.
Yeah, and I can hear areas of Dublin as well when you're talking about
Areas
it.
within, right? And
Yeah,
I'm scrolling all over this Google Maps of Ireland, and I can't see the name of this place. Oh, it's not Londonderry. It's one word, but or it's one or two words. It's a longer name like that.
Sorry, what was it you called Derry again?
Londonderry.
It's Derry.
Actually, it does say here Londonderry, and it says Derry underneath.
Yeah, because even the local council there changed it not so long ago that they both sides, the Protestant and the Catholic sides, both agreed that Derry is now Derry and
Okay.
nothing else.
I mean, I've seen it called both. I didn't realise it was changed in any way.
It was called Londonderry when it was shown on British maps made
Right.
by British
I
people.
can understand that. And then there's
It
going to
was
be
Derry on
issues
the
over
Irish
that.
maps.
Yeah, and there's going to be
there
issues.
was
over that.
issues.
Yeah,
There
of
was
course.
issues, and then both sides, so bipartisans, in the Derry Council or Londonderry Council, as it was at the time, decided that no, we're just going to go and call it Derry. Nobody's going to have an issue with this anymore.
That's great. That is genuinely, that's great, isn't it? And it's
If you call it Londonderry, that's not wrong. But officially now, Derry County Council is Derry County Council, or City Council, should I say?
and that's the new fact that I've learnt tonight. Thank you.
You're
Only
welcome.
one of the global accents.
Not-
say
not-
the oh god, what's the name of the county in Wales now? It's the Carmarthenshire accent. You hear it very distinctly unless like you go to like say old West Monmouthshire, the accent is totally different there. So
And I'm still scrolling back and forth over this map of Ireland, and I can't see this place. Such a shame. It's just an Irish town that you can say, or you. When he said it, his accent is a beautiful accent, a beautiful Irish accent, and I just, I think I can say it in the same way as him anyway. Now I can't remember what the hell the place is called. Never mind.
Oh, well, I've been to quite a few places in Ireland, and some of the accents can be quite thick and difficult to understand. I remember I took my ex-girlfriend over to the West Coast one time, and I was in a place called Doolin in County Clare.
Yeah.
And we went into a shop, and there was a farmer there talking to the girl behind the counter. And
Yeah.
I was listening to them, and so was my ex. And when we left the shop, she says, "Oh, was that guy talking Irish to her?" And I was like, "No, he was talking English." But I couldn't understand the word he was saying. No, that's because he has quite a thick farmer accent on him.
I'm trying to find. Oh, I nearly said something I shouldn't say. Using Google and trying to find the name of this town.
I mean, you got Cork and Kerry. They're quite the singy accents when you're thinking about it. I'm from Cork, like. How are you doing, boy?
Okay.
That's very Welsh.
Well, like you said, it's one of those more sing-songy accents.
Oh, not bad. How you doing?
That'd be what Irish Demon's accent should be like, because he's down from around Cork, boy. He's a Cork boy. Is what he is.
Cork boy.
Cork boy.
I can't say it.
And then going up to Kerry, and then you got Mayo. How are you doing? I'm from Mayo.
No, now that doesn't sound like an Irish accent at all to me. Not at all.
Oh, really? Well, then you ought to go to Mayo, because they've got quite a thick accent in Mayo.
Is that famous for the crisp factory?
Mayo crisps.
Mason Particle just suggested Irish towns by population. Yeah, I've tried. It's one. Do you know? I know what will happen. The stream will finish. Thank you very much. Good night. Oh, it's so and so, isn't it? I can't remember. Yeah. So, but it wasn't. It was a name, for instance, like Londonderry, which we're not going to go over again. But it was something like, it was just a town name, and it sounded. I mean, saying Londonderry, I have no idea how an Irish person. Okay, you're not saying Londonderry now, but I have no idea how an Irish person would say it. But this other name had a very definite way of sort of pronouncing it in an Irish fashion.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it is.
That's even confusing to me now. That's clever.
Yeah, I am trying to use Google to. Well, I could just have Irish towns, but yeah, by population size, that's not a bad idea, is it? And if I quick scroll, but I've no idea if it's a large or a small place.
Some of the stronger accents come from the smallest of places.
Yeah, it's not that it's a strong accent. Right, I'm just having
now. Irish stew. Tato was a Dublin crisp, just so you know. They were made around the corner from me. I remember even going into the Tato factory once.
Yeah.
And because I bought a packet of crisps from Tato, and I got a massive lump of flavouring in the packet of crisps, and they gave me like £50 worth of compensation for it.
Oh right.
I was 15 at the time, and getting £50. Now this was what, in the middle of the 90s.
Yeah.
Getting 50 Irish pounds worth of compensation from a factory when you're 15, it was quite a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a generous compensation, isn't it?
Now, it wasn't. It was in vouchers, but it was still a lot of money.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get that today from any factory.
No, that's true. Oh, actually, saying that, I made a polite. Give a polite review on a place that I'd visited, a restaurant, and I wasn't that impressed. I was really quite disappointed. So I wasn't rude or anything. I didn't say anything at the time. It wasn't that bad, but I basically expressed that I was really quite disappointed. It's the second time I'd been there and be disappointed, and I wouldn't be going again. And they responded to the review, apologising and saying or asking me to contact them so that they could make it up to me. Which I thought was. I didn't take them up on it. I left it, but I thought that was quite good.
That's a nice thing. I do go back to manufacturers if I get something bad from them, and I have gotten vouchers from them to buy a new packet of whatever it was I had bought.
Yeah.
I don't go out publicly and say it was terrible, this, that, and the other. I go directly to them and say, well, listen, I bought this packet of chips from you and there was a bad piece in it and they'd given me vouchers. But the best one was that one time when I actually went into the Tato factory and said, what's this thing? Oh, we'll review it. It was a piece of flavouring that you shouldn't have got in your packet. Here's 50 Irish pounds for it.
Maybe they got off cheap. Who knows? But I think complaining is a good thing to do. People are very uncomfortable doing it. The only reason I'm comfortable complaining is that I'm just as quick, if not quicker, to give praise where something has been good. Whether
There's
that's
right and bad ways to go about it.
yeah. But I mean, me and Mrs S last year went sort of out Cheltenham way, I think it was, or it might have been Bath, not sure. We stayed at a hotel, and first of all, when we got there, it was supposed to be quite a nice room. We sort of, we don't go away often. When we do, we try and bump up a bit. And I really didn't like this room. It looked a bit old-fashioned, and so I said about it. I said, "Look, we're expecting the room to be more modern." And they moved us to another room, which was, that was great. So we're very happy with that. But then there was an issue with the heating. The aircon didn't work, and when you went in the room, at all times, the bathroom mirror, and it was a big mirror, was a heated mirror, so it didn't steam up. So that was great. Apart from the fact this mirror was getting too hot to touch. It was blasting heat out all the time. We woke up in the night, and it was about 32 in the room, but the heating was set to 23 or whatever it was, and it's just nothing we could do about it. And I went down to reception at about 2 in the morning. There was no one there. And I complained the next morning. They gave us a fan, and they sent an engineer, and he actually tried to disconnect the heating mirror, and that helped a bit, but it was still bad. So I had filmed the room and said about the temperature, and showed the temperature and the setting of the thermostat or whatever. And then I contacted the hotel afterwards, and they were really good, and they basically gave us a full. Well, they offered, did we want to have another stay? But of course, it was all COVID and getting very difficult. So they gave us a full refund. So we weren't doing it to try and get a full refund, but I thought, actually, that was really good of them and very, very fair. And now, if I was thinking of going to a hotel again, I'd be happy to go to their hotels,
Oh yeah, I've had I do the same thing with. I'm just as quick to give a super positive review publicly as to do a anything negative non-publicly if there's something wrong. There's a restaurant very close to me. Had some bad food from them. I messaged them privately and said, well, listen, the food wasn't up to scratch this time. They said, well, next time you come over, we'll comp your food for you. I went to them the next time, I paid for everything, and then I left a very good review.
Yeah.
And never asked for the comp, and left a really super positive review. And they then messaged me privately and said, well, hey, you're after leaving us a really good review. Didn't you give us this bad review and you wanted comp? Do you want your money back for the food that you gave here? And I was like, no, that's fine. You fixed the problem.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
That's right. You can always have a problem. That isn't the problem. The problem can be how you deal with that problem. Or you can turn it into a win, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I still go back to that restaurant. They know who I am now.
Yes.
And I've never had a problem with them ever since.
Watch that one. He's nothing but trouble.
Well, I don't think it's that. But I've talked to the owner, because the owner is the guy who cooks the food, and he wasn't cooking that day that I got the bad food. There was a replacement because he was on holiday. So these things happen.
Well, one time we stopped. I don't know where we were going. Stopped with the kids when they were young. I don't know, sort of 7, 8 years old or whatever. We were driving somewhere early in the morning. We stopped at a McDonald's for breakfast. The place was virtually empty. It's typical McDonald's. Just as you'd expect. But they were always sweeping and cleaning and mopping the tables and whatnot. And this lady was doing that, and she chatted to the kids and was friendly. She I can't remember, went and got them an extra straw or whatever it was. She was really nice and friendly. She was the cleaner, basically, but the lowest, pretty much, I guess, the lowest position at a McDonald's. But she was so great that I went and when we finished, I just went over to the counter and said, can I speak to the manager? Of course, the manager or manageress came out thinking, oh my goodness, what is this? And I just said, look, that lady, she's absolutely fantastic. She was happy with what she was doing. She was doing a good job. She chatted to my kids. She made them smile or whatever. She was super polite, absolutely wonderful employee. And so she said, "Oh, thank you ever so much for saying that. You know, I put her forward for some staff award or whatever." Because I wrote it all down on one of their, review cards, but I actually wanted to say. Yeah. Because there are people who do a wonderful job and they should be credited for that.
Yeah, I've done the same in my local McDonald's because my daughter is a celiac, and the local McDonald's here is absolutely fantastic for making sure that the food that I order for her is to 100%. And my daughter doesn't like ketchup or anything on her food, and once we went in and there was a ketchup on the burger, I just went back up to the counter and said, "Hey, listen, I didn't ask for ketchup. I asked for it without ketchup." They were so apologetic. I said, "Hey, look, that's fine."
I think that they're generally good because they've got that sort of American customer service sort of ethos. I've never had a problem at one of those in taking something, this is cold or this is the wrong order, and they'll change it in a shop. I also suppose it's because the food's as cheap as anything for them. But the fact is that they'll sort the problem out. That's all you need, really.
I think mostly the managers here, anyway, they're kind of afraid of people just going full on Karen. That when you're actually nice, to them, say, "Hey, listen, something was wrong here. Can you fix it for me?" They just expecting me to blow up on them. I was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Can you just make it new? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this other thing?" It's like, "No, I don't need anything else. I just want the burger the way I ordered it. I don't want an extra fries or an extra drink or anything like that. I'm not going to write a review or anything. Just can I have it the way I ordered it, please?"
I'll tell you where I typically, whenever I'm at any fast food place, and I'll have a Coke with no ice. Partly because I don't particularly like ice, but also the fact that they fill it with ice and then put the drink in, so you're not getting much drink. And of course, as the ice melts, it waters it down even more. So I never have ice, but it's something that they quite often they'll do without thinking. So I just say, "Look, I said no ice." They always change it. Never a grumble about it.
Yeah, it's just if you're nice to people, you'll get so much more back.
Yes.
And that's what I enjoy most about making
any
a
fast
complaint.
food place.
I'm nice to them
and I'll have a
while
Coke
I'm making
with no
the
ice.
complaint. It's like, "Hey, something went wrong here. Can we fix it?" And the fact that they get so scared about me making the complaint is just it's kind of funny to me.
But it's sad in that they must get people who are just moaners for moaning's sake.
Oh yeah, I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah.
I've seen it more than once. I've seen people shouting at the guy behind the counter in McDonald's, like, "Here is a bunch of kids. This is probably their first summer job that they've ever had in their lives, and you're screaming and shouting at them. What is this going to achieve, other than making them want to hate people in the future, in their future jobs? If you're nice to them, you'll get what you want much, much quicker."
Absolutely. In my work, I do actually deal with people, and I'll deal with them anyway. But if you've got, you get one person who is nice, polite, even if you're telling them something that they don't really want to hear, you try and resolve their issues as best you can. And then you get the next person who's as rude as anything. Yeah, you still, because it's your job, have to try and resolve things. But let's face it, if they're just being obnoxious to you and rude to you, you haven't got the same incentive to try and fix things for them.
No, and that's been my experience in pretty much all of the public service jobs I've had in my entire life. And I'm not old, but I'm not young either. And I've worked in airports and around airports for a long time with customer services. And the nicer people are, the quicker I will try to sort out their problem, and the more I will do to sort out their problem.
Yeah.
The more angry with me that they are, the more of a resistance I will put up towards them.
Yeah, you'll follow the rules, but you're not going to go out your way to...
Nope.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I had I had, let's see, I had a flight I was dealing with not so long ago where I had to refuse 3 people because the flight was overbooked.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 2 of them weren't able to speak English that well, but the third one was translating for me. And so it was overbooked by 2 people, but 3 of them didn't fly. And I got that third person who was helping me to translate
Yep.
compensation,
Yeah.
even though she chose not to fly.
Yeah.
All because
Bent
she
the
was
rules a
being
bit.
nice. Yeah, all because she was being nice.
Yeah.
She got to get this little extra instead of having to pay for everything.
Nice. Well,
And
sorry. Do you want to just finish off? But then what I'm going to do, guys, is it's 11:10 now, so I'll wind
Yeah,
up
they
the
gotta
stream.
be up early tomorrow morning as well.
oh no, I was finished. That was
Oh,
it.
you just finished, okay.
You know, people being nice gets you more stuff in the end.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah,
I have
absolutely.
to say.
And let's face it, you know, I could complain about something without being horrible. You know, there's no need to be horrible. I'd only get cross if they were then obnoxious. Oh, how dare you complain about this? Well, no, I'm the customer. I can complain, but I'm complaining, you know, because this is cold or this is the wrong order. You know, hey, it happens. Just fix it, and then the problem's gone away.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the thing is, being nice doesn't cost anything.
No,
Nope.
no. Well, actually, I think you could be incorrect because, I mean, Nathan Oakley's never managed it, has he?
Oh,
There must be a hidden cost in there somewhere. Okay, guys. Listen, I'm really pleased that you jumped on the Discord. Sorry for leaving you there so long. I got so wrapped up in the stream, I didn't,
don't worry about it.
didn't even notice at first. So what I'll do is I'll chuck you into the arena, and you can carry on your conversation. And when the stream's wrapped up, I'll jump in for a few minutes and just chew things over a while. Okay. So
No bother.
thank you very much, Nimrod. Thank you very much, Captain Welshie.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. S.
Welcome. Good night, guys.
Good
And
night.
off
Good
they
night.
go. So, I'm going to wind up the stream. As I said, probably Friday the 13th is the revised planned date for the Bletchley Park video as a live premiere. I do so hope you join me on that. Should be fun anyway because it's a live premiere, but I'm already really proud of the video, and I've only done half of it, or maybe a bit more than half, I'm not sure. And hopefully in the meantime I'll be able to get some more get back to some usual sort of debunking, laughing, putting out stupidity videos, because I've been caught up with other stuff plus work, of course. That always gets in the way, that. Yeah, I did offer to go on a different shift pattern. It's a pattern I'm proposing of never going into work but still getting paid, but so far they haven't taken me up on the offer. But you can sort of live in hope, really. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, all the members, everyone who's commented, all of you subscribers and super chatters. I appreciate every single one of you. You know I do. So I'm going to say good night. See you all soon, and stay sensible.
Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese, and get me only the best if you please, best if you please. Here are some flowers, let me display them. Yea, Dr. Wow, you have gone, all slay them. Mr. Sensible, you are a man. Every subscriber is a faithful fan. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help us out, please. Mr. Sensible, I needed proof of gravity, so I jump off the roof. It happened not, let me go further. Why was I ever such a dumb flat earther, Mr. Sensible? I'm such a clown. sensible, bring me a sphere, to which the waters of the oceans adhere, have explanations that let me be candid, so clear that all the fluffers understand it. Mr. Sensible, please hear my call, the earth is not flat, so let's